What? Our stories weren't matching up. Night? And this morning when he woke me up to make him breakfast, he got so mad at me. He would have gotten mad at me whether I'd gotten up or not. Satoko? Rika-chan went over to Satoko and said a few words of consolation. But Satoko angrily refused those words and thrust Rika-chan away. Nini, come back, wah. Crying, Satoko slowly walked out into the hallway. After a moment, Rika-chan went after her. I couldn't stop thinking about the words Satoko had spoken while crying. I buried her uncle last night. But she said this morning. That was impossible. I buried him last night, so she couldn't have seen her uncle until this morning. What was Satoko? At that point, I heard Mion's cold voice. Hey, Kei-chan? What did you mean about Satoko's uncle? Gulp. I said too much. I let my emotions get the better of me. Rena heard it too. You said Satoko's uncle didn't come home. Why? Why didn't he come home? That's strange. Satoko-chan's uncle was right there this morning, wasn't he? So why would you say he didn't come back? Come back? Kei-chan, you've been saying weird things for a while. Suddenly Mion and Rena started to speak in strange and creepy voices. What were they doing? What were they saying? Kei-chan, is it somehow inconvenient for you? For Satoko's uncle to be around? No, what are you talking about? Of course it would be better if Satoko's uncle wasn't here. Yep. That's true, of course, if only he weren't here, right? Something wasn't right. The next thing I knew, Mion and Rena were smiling thinly, and their eyes were dark and muddy, in a way I'd never seen before. And as our eyes met, that mud seemed to fill the air. Satoko's uncle is an awful person, no doubt. I think we'd all be better off with him gone just as much as you do. But he's here. There's nothing we can do, right? Nothing we can do. Something's wrong. Something's clearly wrong here. What the hell was happening? After a moment, a chilly liquid-like feeling, as though my blood had been mixed with sherbet, crawled up my spine. No choice. I mean, of course there isn't, but then Satoko will never... If there's no choice, what would you do? Rena was trying to prompt me to say more. There really was no choice, so I killed him. I killed him to protect Satoko. That's... Leave him alone. I think things will resolve themselves soon enough. Satoko-chan said her uncle was here, so he's here. He was here yesterday, and he's here today. She said so it's fine, right? Right? Mion and Rena were speaking unbelievably dismissively. How could they be talking like that? Mion and Rena, they were my friends, and were seriously worried about Satoko's abuse, weren't they? They would never blurt out something like this, and I definitely killed Satoko's uncle. No matter what Satoko or anyone else says, I wouldn't acknowledge it because him being alive was impossible. There is no way he was alive. It was impossible, and yet, since Satoko herself said he was here, then he was alive? I didn't know why or how, but suddenly Mion and Rena were at my sides, standing there silently. Let's go home, Kei-chan. After we leave, Rena wants to go treasure hunting for the first time in a while. Mi-chan is coming too. Kei-chan, you should come along. Of course, you're not allowed to refuse. If words could freeze blood, then there was no doubt that they would have frozen me solid. I could hear it, a layer of thin ice, the sound of all my muscles tensing. and with them closely at my sides we left the school as if they were police officers taking me away. They talked about silly things the entire way home like they always did, but they always stood at my sides as if to prevent me from escaping. This was strange. Everything about this day was strange. Actually, it had been strange ever since the previous night. Yes, thinking back, it had been strange ever since killing Satoko's uncle. That creepy meeting with Takano-san was only the beginning. That insane night was still continuing. Yes, it still hadn't ended. What? What's wrong, Kei-chan? Why did you suddenly stop? Sorry, it's nothing. When I stopped, it was distant, but I definitely heard them. An extra set of footsteps. That was proof. Proof that insane night hadn't ended. Mion left where she usually did, and we finally came to my house. Okay, Keiichi-kun, wait here for me. Rena will come to pick you up soon. What was it? She was inviting me along on one of her oversized garbage treasure hunts at the dam site, right? But why now? Mion coming along was strange too. Mion may have accepted Rena's little hobby, but she hated fishing through garbage, so she'd never come with her before. And the location, specifically being the dam site, was a little creepy. The dam construction site was completely outside the flow of everyday life. It was so remote that no one ever went there unless they thought to in particular. Nobody lived there, and there were no lights, so at night it got dark very quickly. I was being forcibly invited there? There was no reason I had to fear Rena or Mion. Besides, and wouldn't the trouble I'd be making by refusing them be a pain to deal with? In that way, it didn't seem like going treasure hunting with them was a bad idea, but that insane night was continuing. Haven't the sirens of instinct been wailing in my mind for a while now, warning me that Rena and Mion were strange, that I needed to be cautious? The warning sirens were so freaking loud it felt like my head would split in two. Rena? I actually have something to do. Something to do? Like what? Like what? I just have something to do, okay? If you had something to do, why didn't you say it while Mi-chan was here? I already told her to meet us at the dam site before we split up. Rena was smiling, but her words made her discomfort clear. Sorry, I just kind of missed the opportunity to say so. Really? You're lying, aren't you? You just made that up now, you liar. That's what Rena's eyes said to me. My head hurts. I might have a cold. So I wanted to get checked out and get some medicine. Really? That wasn't really a lie. My head, your eyes are slowly and gradually doing a thing. My head did hurt a little bit, so I wasn't lying. I feel like her eyes just got like 10% of the... Rena, she couldn't figure out if my head hurt or not just by looking at it. Then, I guess that's that. After staring me in the eyes for a few moments, she fired a sharp needle-like stare at me. The tension in my body loosened, and I felt like my knees might buckle. If you're going to the clinic, then you should go soon. Sometimes they close early. Thanks. I'll do that. Make sure you go, okay? To the hospital. I will. Go for real. I will. It seemed like Rena had realized that I was going to refuse her invitation for a while now. With how serious she looked, she might actually call the clinic later to make sure I went. I couldn't say anything careless. Lying about getting checked out was just an excuse to decline her request in the first place. It didn't matter whether I actually went. Yeah, I'll go. If you want, I can bring you the bill tomorrow. Oh, that would be good. Be sure to bring it, okay? Rena will look at it then. Another tingle started crawling up my back. There was no ignoring Rena. Mina must have been monitoring my movements. That wasn't normal. Far from it. All of it was insane. I did what I did because I wanted my peaceful life back. But what on earth was all this? It was far from peaceful. Something had gone mad, leaving the world out of order. With the other Keiichi Mabura, with those creepy footsteps I've been hearing, with Rena and Mion acting so curious, and above all, with him being alive. Where was I? Hinamizawa Village, Shishibone. I knew that much. Was this really the Hinamizawa I knew? Hey, Keiichi Mabura? Where is this? I asked, whipping around before the front door. to face the one who has been following in my wake all day. Nobody would have been there, of course. Keiichimabara, huh? That's what I just called him. Called the one who had been trailing behind me this whole time. That shadowy presence always clinging to me, like it was constantly watching for the opportunity to change places. Footsteps always following me was another impossibility. It couldn't have been a ghost, so it was just impossible. So the strangeness must have been my ears, my head, or Hinamizawa. Everything I could see was the exact Hinamizawa I knew so well, and that gave me the creeps. Eventually, I decided to actually go to the clinic. I really didn't want to go outside, but a stronger feeling than that desire was the fear Rena might actually be keeping an eye on me to see if I went to the hospital. But before I went to the clinic, there was something I wanted to make sure of. It was at school. I had pretended I'd forgotten something and was going back to classroom to pick it up. We're making sure the bat's not there? As soon as the thought crossed my mind, I was overwhelmed by paranoia. I was just going to the classroom, but I hated it. So much having to be so careful to fake it. After carefully verifying once more that nobody's watching, I went over to the locker. Yes, Satoshi's locker. I committed the crime with the bat I found in this locker, Satoshi's bat, and then I had thrown the bat into the swamp, which meant the bat shouldn't have been inside. But, what if the bat was still in here? It was a very dreadful, incomprehensible idea. But if it was true, it would explain a lot. If the bat was in here, yesterday's events would have all been a delusion. No, an illusion. An illusion. I hadn't killed anyone, and I'd gone to the festival. I had a great time rampaging about with everyone. It would prove that Keiichimabara was really me. Proof that I was only under some strange assumption that I had killed Satoko's uncle. Proof that it had all been a wild fantasy. At which point we definitely need to go to the fucking clinic at that point. Even more so. That would explain everything. Nothing happened yesterday. I had just gone mad, unable to separate my shocking uncle-killing dream from reality. That would explain everything. If the bat was here, would I be able to accept that reality? Whether we accept it or not, we need to go to the clinic. If it was here, nothing will have changed. If it was here, it would just mean I'd gone crazy. Again, clinic. Clinic, good idea. And then, after clinic, we should at least tell our parents about the abuse Sato is going through, how bad it is, and the idea of adopting her. And we should go to the trash site, see Mion and Rena, and be like, hey guys, I got back from the clinic. I did a couple errands on the way. Yeah, the reason I was so confused, and I don't know if I drank last night, after the festival. All I know is I didn't know I was there. I had a delusion of imagining killing Satoko's uncle. That's what I thought happened last night. Then again, did my ankle ever get twisted? What about the whole thing with Mio? Preparing myself for the worst, I opened the locker door. I was actually scared of opening it slowly, so I threw it open with a bang. And just like the first time, the choking scent of smell and sweat like stale towel came flowing out. There was a baseball uniform, some miscellaneous other things, like notebooks. There was also a shoe pouch. And as for the bat, it wasn't here. It was how I had left it when I took the bat out. Okay, well here's the next thing. Is the bat still by the construction equipment? Did we ever get the bat from the construction equipment? There was no doubt yesterday really happened. Well, we need to also check to see if it's still by the construction equipment we headed by yesterday, unless that stuff's already been... Because the construction equipment might have moved. I mean, we could also check. Now, that's really the main thing we really can't do. Also, we did want to go back for the tiny shovel at some point. But that's probably not necessary. There was no doubt yesterday really happened. Now that I knew I wasn't a lunatic, I felt relieved. But at the same time, if I wasn't the crazy one, then Hinamizawa was. And that evidence of a reality I found just as difficult to accept. I'll say this, we at least know we took the bat out of the locker. But is it still by the construction? Then again, wouldn't the people that use that stuff... Then it hasn't moved in years. Okay, well, we need to check the construction piece then. To see if the bat... Because we hit it there yesterday. Well, you hit it the day before yesterday, so we could pick it up yesterday without being conspicuous. We should check to see if it's still outside. Because it could be, okay, we did take the bat. But the question is... 1. We've confirmed the bat is not still in the locker. Is the bat still hiding next to the bulldozer? And if the bat's not there, is the bat still at the original grave site that we dug? Meaning we never dug a second one. Did we just dig a hole and bury a shovel? It's like we buried a squirrel, but we thought it was a person. There was noise somehow creeping into everything I saw, and the world was losing a tiny bit of color. So, what did I know about last night now? Now that I'd made sure the bat wasn't there, I didn't need to be here anymore. Shall I go? For real? To the hospital? Check the construction. Nope, we're already moving. It was my first time going to the hospital, but from what I'd heard, it wasn't far from school. Was Dr. Erie in the oil drum? My mom had told me where it was. A big, easy-to-see road went straight there. I went past the shopping street, made a turn. It wasn't overly hard to spot the sign with Erie Clinic written on it. There was one other person, an older man there, in the air-conditioned room. Technically, Dr. Erie is working with Mio Takano-san and Jiro on the whole Hinamizawa project. I went up to the counter and told them it was my first time here. The man behind the counter glanced at the clock and said there would be a short wait. It was almost 5. Clinic hours would be ending soon. As I sat in the unfamiliar waiting room, isolated from everyone, and let myself feel the cool air, I actually felt relieved. What should I tell the doctor when he comes? I could tell him I had a cold, but I was very picture of health. Actually, I wanted him to check my head. Well, I mean, it's Dr. Erie's clinic. I mean, if we see Dr. Erie himself, at least it's somebody we feel we can trust more. But we could tell him essentially the truth. That is, we do have a bit of a headache, and that we've been feeling confused here and there, and having issues with our memory. Technically, that's true. We are having issues with our memory, we are having headaches, and we are having bouts of confusion. All of that is true. We could even go as far as mentioning, hey, may make us sound a little crazy, but then it's better to be honest with the doctor. And we just, hey, I don't know if, I've been getting confused, and also I've been hearing things, and it's just not there. So, I mean, at the very least, they might decide to do a brain scan, but hey, it'd probably be best, actually. Actually, I wanted him to check my head. I wanted someone to confirm for me whether I was really sane or not. Keiichi Mabura-san, please come into the examination room. Huh? The voice from the other side of the examination curtain. I thought I'd heard it somewhere before. I was worried it was going to be Mio Takano-san. Hello. You look very professional, man. This is the first time we've seen each other here. Coach, you were a doctor? Now that you mention it, he did seem to know his way around when he was looking at my shoulder in the nurse's office. It would make sense if he was actually a doctor. Come to think of it, our teachers called him Ire-sensei, didn't he? Well, yes, I'm more or less a doctor here. Doctors have it really good, you know. You get to see and touch all that young, silky, smooth skin. I could inject them with weird chemical that'd make them my slaves, and have them be my personal maids. I'm probably not a good thing to say to somebody that's here to get checked about a mental illness, but hey, thank you very much. Just seeing that made my cold go away. I'll be leaving now. Polite bow. Whoa, wait. Mabura-san. A joke. It was a joke. Come, sit down. Let me take a look at you. I'll need to use my stethoscope. So show me your silky smooth chest, Mabura-san. Stop with the jokes. For some reason, I felt really relieved. After that insane night, as much as I thought everything had gone crazy, Coach was here doing the same thing he always did. I was very happy for that. He's at least normal for him. You don't seem to have a cold. Actually, those scrapes and cuts all over you seem to be the painful thing. Don't tell me you were playing in the bushes with short sleeves and shorts. I mean, I can't say for sure you haven't been infected with tetanus. I mean, that actually would be a very big concern with the garbage dump area. Also, can you look at my ankle? Is it still an issue? As I was chasing that man last night, I kept being scraped by bits of trees. I didn't realize I had so many cuts. You went a little too crazy at the festival yesterday. Enjoy that while you're young. And once again, I apparently went to the festival. Coach, did you go to the festival? Yes. Of course I did. I may be a doctor, but I'm also in the Tatarigoroshi Executive Committee. You're also secretly working with the federal government and helping Takano-san. Did you see me there? This coach was the same coach that I'd always known, and I felt like I could trust him more than my weird friends, so I asked. Well, actually, I was drinking in the main tent with the chairman and the others the whole time. I didn't go out to see the festival at all. I don't think I saw you. Oh. Well, that was a strange question. Did you have too much to drink and forget what happened last night? And underage, too. You bad child. Coach let out a laugh. He didn't laugh in an unnatural way like Mion and Rena did. Coach was okay. He was the coach from the world I knew. He wasn't someone from this abnormal world. Well, this is all might seem a little weird to you, but I want you to hear me out without laughing. Yes, go ahead. I greatly welcome any shy, bashful worries you might have as you come into your secondary sex characteristics. Could it be possible that I have an identical twin? Coach hadn't expected that question at all and couldn't say anything for a moment. But then he smiled calmly and quietly answered. This is just superstition, but I've heard before that everyone has two other people in the world who look just like them. I've heard this too, but I've heard it's more issues of probabilities. Simply put, there's only so many different configurations you can have of a human face. Not only are there people that actually are born identical twins, but there's many people out there that are actually completely unrelated whatsoever that just look the same and have the same face. Because at the end of the day, you can't have 8 billion unique faces. So eventually, some people are going to look alike. And more than likely, they'll never meet each other. Just like every name you can think of imaginable out there, there's like 100 other people out there that are completely unrelated to you that actually have the same first, last, and middle name as you. No matter how unusual the name combination is. Because again, there's only so many names you can call a person. If there was, I'd certainly like to meet him, though. Also, there are plenty of fairy tales where a person's double appears. There's also Mandela catalog, and there's also skinwalkers and doppelgangers. The German ones about doppelgangers are probably the most famous. I agree, doppelgangers. I think doppelgangers are the origin of all those stories. Yes, they look exactly like another person. Though technically, there's origins before that, but doppelgangers is really the main one, everything. Apparently they herald misfortune, and if you meet one, you're sure to die soon. I think that's how it went. When you meet them, you're sure to die soon. Okay, so I don't want to meet the other me. The story ended directly in death, plain and simple, and it made my spine tingle. Coach wasn't saying it to scare me, though. He was just offering a casual anecdote, but that made it feel all the more real. Have you ever heard of one of those things showing up in Hinamasawa? What? Ha ha ha. Well, I can't say that I have. Ha ha ha. Coach must have thought he was being teased, so he laughed in an exaggerated way, but when I didn't smile along with him, his laughter steadily grew fainter. I'm sorry, well, I was sort of being serious. No, I apologized for laughing. Was there something you were worried about? I wondered if I should tell him. Then, after resolving myself one final time, I slowly spoke. The question is this. Should we outright tell him about thinking we killed Satoko's uncle? Well, there's two possibilities. One, we didn't kill Satoko's uncle, and it was all something wrong with our head. At which point, our best bet provided we don't know that he's working with the Nazis, is to actually talk to him about it, tell him everything, at which point we get non-invasive fucking CAT scans and MRIs and stuff on our brain. Now, even in the situation that he's working with Nazis, I mean, maybe, one, at this point, I kind of do need them to find a way to cure it, or else I am going to die. Two, I mean, that's, we're going with the logic that we know things we shouldn't. And the two things we shouldn't know is that he's working with the Nazis and, well, this condition is fatal. So knowing both of these things, my best option would be relying on them under the condition that they do everything to actually, one, save my life, and two, be as non-damaging, non-painful to me as possible. Also, I would try my hardest to avoid spoilers from Chapter 4 onward. And in the situation that there is nothing wrong with me, well, there's still something wrong with me, so we still need to get checked. But in the situation that we did kill Satoko's uncle, if there was anyone in the entire world that would actually side with me and do everything to protect me, it would be this man. And that's both knowing what I know about him, and even if I already knew that he's with the Nazis, whatever. And everyone's like, why do you keep calling the Nazis? One, it's that one pen, and also it's the fact that, they're using the people in the fucking village as test, and they're killing people, okay? At this point, it's a comment on the clothing choices that we're going to see in later chapters. That, and it's also the fact that I made a comparison between Mio Takano-san and Joseph Mengele, because, well, both of them are doctors that have less than ethical standards when it comes to how you treat patients. So at that point, that's my basis for calling them Nazis, is, being people that would have less than ethical standards for how you would treat your patients. There's other things like fascism and stuff, but that's the main thing I'm just going with, is a comparison to a very famous doctor that was, he did horrible things that are, really, really bad. I don't want to say, because I feel like even in the context of this game, those things are unspeakable. All things considered, the real-life person I'm comparing Mio Takano-san is actually worse than she is. And with zero redeeming qualities whatsoever. But I'm just trying to voice how uncomfortable I would be in regard to the thing, but I'm just saying this. Even if they literally were Nazis, this guy would still take my side in regards to the thing about Satoko's uncle. Like, the dude could have a secret skeletons in his past that I have no idea about that are just horrible, monstrous things. Heck, at that point, it's more reason why he would side with me. At that point, it would mean he's not been above doing certain nefarious, dirty deeds himself. At which point, he'd at least be more understanding. But also the fact that he cares deeply about Satoko and realizes that Teppei is a very not good person. So honestly, the guy would actually probably completely have my back in every way. So, we should still tell our parents about Satoko's abuse, especially if, our uncle's still alive. But regardless if he's still alive or not, whether it's all in my head or not, we still need to get our head checked, and we still should tell him everything. Either it was all of our imagination and we killed no one, at which point, we can't be charged for the crime that doesn't exist. To be like, it's like, what happened? I had a dream I stole the Eiffel Tower. But, one, you didn't, and two, how? How would you do that? But, yeah. Even if everything, it's not a delusion, we really did kill. This color scheme looks really nice. It looks really good. I like the color scheme. Looks really nice. Like the colors. But we should tell him everything. Because even in the situation that we actually did murder Teppei in the fucking mountains, if there was one person we could trust with this story, it's you. there's any person we should tell, it's you. And if there's any time, it's now. I wondered if I should tell him. Then after resolving myself one final time, I slowly spoke. I didn't go to the festival yesterday. Is that right? Well, there will be one next year. And then you can. That's not what I meant. I didn't go to the festival, but according to everyone else, I was there. Could that even be possible? After blinking his eyes in amazement, Coach thought seriously about what I was trying to say. And he answered, choosing his words carefully. Let me make sure I have this straight. I was considering using a picture of... It is one of the biggest compliments I can give you, music developers of this game, but your music reminds me a little bit of Mega Man Legends and Brave Fencer Musashi. Or maybe I'm just wanting the developers of this game to play those games. I'm suggesting games to Let's Play to the developers of a game I'm playing. I'm just saying I really like the music. Everyone's like, what are you doing? I'm making the thumbnail. Let me make sure I have this straight. Mabra-kun, you went to the Tatarigoroshi festival, but don't remember it, am I right? I was trying to say something completely different, but I suppose any sane person would come to that conclusion. That night, Keiichi Mabra was actually at the festival, but I was saying that I didn't go. That obviously meant my memories of going there had failed me. But that was absolutely impossible. That vivid act I had committed during the downpour couldn't possibly have been an illusion. All these scrapes on my body prove it, as does the fact the bat wasn't in the locker. No, that's not it, Coach. I really didn't go to the festival. Please don't take offense, Mabra-san. Have you ever had an experience where you were suddenly somewhere unfamiliar and you couldn't remember why? You mean blackouts? Well, I'll say this. While I understand the concept of a blackout, I can certainly say I've never got up and moved and done stuff during blackouts. It mainly just consists of me just laying there unconscious. And even then, it wasn't for very long. Though it is weird to see like everything in your vision go red and black, and then, you know, gravity kind of is a bitch. No. And I didn't lose my memories or anything. Because while the festival was going on, I was definitely doing something else. It wasn't like I was asleep and unconscious or anything. You're certain you were doing something else. I know I'm being awfully rude, but are you sure you're not mistaken? I know I'm not. My memories are clear as day, and they were real. During the festival, you weren't at the shrine, and you were doing something somewhere else. Can you definitely prove that? That's right. Thinking it through brought me to this. There was only one way to prove that I really wasn't at the festival yesterday, and that was to show that there was no doubt I had killed her uncle. Coach saw me struggling to answer, and his eyes looked a little cold. I guess they would. After all, from Coach's perspective, I was just a weirdo sputtering nonsense. If he hadn't met me before, yes. But he knows me. Granted, we haven't known each other for super long, but he's known me enough to know that this isn't just some joke and I'm not some weirdo. Would you like to lay down? Maybe you should relax and take it easy for a bit. Sorry, I didn't really come here to lay down. You seem to be a little worked up. Why don't I give you a sedative that'll let you sleep for a bit? Nope. That way, no. I'm not being strange. Coach seemed to realize he was treating me like a deviant, and he raised his voice. I apologize if I offended you, so please calm down. I definitely didn't go to the festival. That's the truth. I understand, so please calm down. Take a deep breath. No, you don't understand at all. Coach was stunned and stared in stupefaction. I do understand, Mabura-san. You didn't go to the festival yesterday. Is that right? I believe you. Coach jotted down a brief note in his records. He was writing in German, so that his patient wouldn't know what it said. But I could make a good guess as to what he wrote. You won't believe me until I tell you everything I was doing at the time, will you? No, I believe you. Please sit down. Before I sat, I tilted my head back a little. The blood in my face all drained out and I quieted down. After taking a deep breath, I made sure that I was calm now. It would have been impossible for me to be at the festival, because at the time I was, like I said, if there was any person to trust, it was him. Even if we didn't hallucinate it and we actually did kill Tepe, if there was any person I can trust, it's you. Even if, and here's the thing, and that's just given what we know about him. Even if we knew about his secret connections to the, not so nice parts of the government, honestly, we should still trust him. Should I tell him or not? Because honestly, I would say this. That matters to me more. Honestly, yes, there's other things in your life that are perhaps maybe red flags in terms of your character. But in general, we've seen red flags at the baseball game and just how when we first got here. But at the end of the day, he does genuinely seem to be someone we can trust and that does care about us, which means we should at least give him the benefit of the doubt and trust him. We should tell him. Should I tell him or not? I really didn't want to go on living like this, feeling this horrible, and I said them, the final fatal words, because I was killing Satoko's uncle at the time. I could smell the concrete in the room. I could feel the air around us sharpen. Nobody moved. Only the sound of the clock ticking told us time hadn't stopped. With his mouth wide open, Coach even forgot to blink for a little while. You killed Satoko-chan's uncle. Yeah, it's fine now, Keiichi Mabura. Don't hesitate. Admit it with all your strength. Yes, last night I did it. I killed him. I spoke clearly and fluidly. I could easily tell that Coach's mind had gone completely blank. Why would you? No, that was a foolish question. I believed it was the most direct method of saving Satoko, so I carried it out. I don't have any regrets. I see. Heh. Coach smiled thinly and nodded a bit. So I couldn't have been at the festival. I left the brightness of my house for the darkness of the outside. After that, I dug holes, made phone calls. I had my hands full, and then I attacked him, killed him, and buried him. It was pouring hard at the time. The festival started that evening, but was suspended due to the rain. There was no gaps in my memories. From the late afternoon until it started to rain, there was no time for me to possibly have gone to the festival. And those wounds, are they from that? Yes. There's a road through the forest near Sato's house. I attacked him there, he ran, but I chased him, and finally killed him near the road that leads to town. Is that true? Killing her uncle, it wasn't some wild fantasy. I could tell the coach didn't believe me. So I spoke slowly, not letting myself grow excited. It's true. I killed him with Satoshi's bat. I threw it and the uncle's motorbike into the swamp. I dug a hole, killed him, and buried him. I did it all by myself. Satoko-chan's uncle drove past you on a motorbike, did he? Then you predicted he'd do that and just waited? I assumed he wouldn't be leaving his house that day. So I lied to him over the phone to get him out. You called him, but your house is so far away from Satoko-chan's. I wouldn't think you'd be able to make it there so soon after calling him. I used a phone closer to where I was going to attack him, the one at the school. But Mabura-san, it was Sunday. Wouldn't the school have been locked up? A forest ranger happened to go inside for a bit. I slipped in when I had the chance. After that, Coach grilled me on a few different things regarding the incident. He made sure to question me carefully, looking for any contradictions in my account. I'll believe you. What you did yesterday doesn't seem like a dream. I explained everything, including minor details that only someone who had actually committed the act could explain. I could, of course. It was only yesterday. Coach realized that my story had no expedient coincidences or too convenient details that would have existed in a daydream or delusion, and finally seemed to want to believe me. So, do you still think I went to the festival and lost my memory? Coach slowly shook his head. But everyone in the class, they said I was at the festival yesterday. Is that even possible? No, it's not. Your classmates probably mistook you for someone who looked very similar. Okay, I really doubt that, but if that's the case, they need to be here too. Like, they have something wrong. Then, given how your group psychology works, everyone just assumed that you had been at the festival. They couldn't have mistaken me. Mian and all the rest said they were spending time with Keiichi Mabura. It was much more than just having mistaken someone. It's not like they just like, oh yeah, I saw the back of him from a crowd. Like, no, they spent hours with me, having face-to-face conversations, than just having mistaken me for someone else. But saying that out loud would just confuse Coach. He spoke to me in whispered tones. Do you feel guilty at all? It didn't sound like he was criticizing me, and even if he had, I would have flatly said the same thing. I don't. I did it so that I could return to the peaceful days that he'd stolen from us. So I planned to forget all about having killed him and live my life as usual. Once Satoko's regular smile returns, the one from before he showed up, everything will be finally over. Also, we need to tell him, hey, by the way, Satoko said her uncle was there this morning and still abusing her. Any chance that someone witnessed the crime? I don't think so. If someone had seen me, I would have been arrested already. I am a doctor. My job is to save lives. So I cannot make any statements to the effect of condoning the taking of another's life. So instead, I will say this. Coach slowly rose and placed a hand on my shoulder. For saving Satoko-chan, I thank you. Coach's eyes started shedding warm tears. When I looked at him, I started to feel some tears of my own. I didn't know what I was crying for, and so for a little while, the two men in the room fought back their tears. But it's strange. What is? I'm sure I killed him, and yet he seems to have returned home alive. Coach's expression immediately sharpened. Depending on the situation, there are many ways that mere unconsciousness can look like real death to a lazy. We beat him everywhere in his body, caved in his skull, and then he was laying there hours later where we then buried him in a puddle where he should be drowning on the muddy water before I even finished burying him. Do you think it's possible he was just knocked out? I didn't check for a pulse, so I'm pretty sure I did him in. Can I ask you to reproduce the situation in which you attacked him, Mabura-san? Coach rolled up a health and fitness week poster nearby and offered it to me to represent the bat. Though I may have been lost to emotions of a beast that night, I remembered in detail the number of times I swung the bat and the angles I'd swung from and the force I'd applied. Even if he didn't die from the bats, he should have suffocated. Using Coach as a stand-in for the uncle, I reproduced them over and over one by one. And when he tripped and fell, I bashed in the top of his head like this. When I did it, I felt different from the other strikes. I thought I'd cracked his skull. Coach was calmly analyzing the information using the places I had struck and the situation at hand to find out what state the uncle's body had been in. I wasn't totally sure he was dead, so I hit him a few more times after he fell. Did he react at all? At first, I sort of felt his body jolting with every hit, but eventually that stopped too, and he didn't react at all. Coach folded his arms and said, a few times. And then he spoke. He's dead. There's not much doubt about it. He didn't just look like he was. I can't say very much just from your story, Mabra-san, but I think it's almost certain. Besides, you buried the corpse in the mud, and that took you quite a bit of time, right? Let's say it took you 30 minutes. That would mean he was buried under the muddy water for those 30 minutes. If you don't breathe for that long, your brain will die no matter what. You mean, even ignoring how hard it hit him, he would definitely have died while I was burying him. That's right. It's impossible to stay alive buried underground for 30 minutes. Impossible, you're right. But Satoko, she says he's alive. Coach, a doctor, just gave his stamp of approval that he's dead for sure. That made it seem all the more unfair that he could still be among the living. It just means there's doppelganger copying people's bodies that decided to mimic me at the festival, so no one would know I was killing the dude, but then chose to mimic Satoko's uncle and is now living in her house, abusing her even worse. Or the same, I don't know. Or maybe not as much, I don't know. Just saying, why? But why, though? Are we going to see the first fucking sprite of Keiichi here, as we see another us, and they're not exactly very, kind. Mabra-san, this is a really horrible idea, but is it possible that the person you killed wasn't actually her uncle? Huh? He's right. That could be. Why? It cleared up the inconsistency of my definitely having killed someone, but him still being alive. There's no way. I mean, we were both at Satoko's house when he was bringing his alcohol inside, and there was a man who stuck his face out the window to look. It was him, right? That was Satoko's uncle, right? Or did I kill his friend? Did I kill Teppei's friend? Writings. Teppei was too lazy to go get Satoko himself. He sent his friend out to do it. And his friend was riding his bike. And now he's in more of a bad mood because he thinks his friend just stole his bike and ran the fuck off. It was him, right? That was Satoko's uncle, right? Yes. You're not wrong. It was that man. Could she have more than one uncle or something? Not one that I've ever heard of. It's just him. Could you tell me what he looked like? Well, his height first. He was about 175 centimeters tall. Maybe, how would I be able to tell that in the dark on a motorcycle? In order to eliminate the worst possibility that I'd killed someone else, Coach began to thoroughly compare what the man in his mind looked like with what I told him the person I killed looked like. But no matter how in-depth my description went, none of the characteristics differed. The uncle's traits, according to Coach, were all exactly the same as the person I'd killed. But those traits were all extremely vague, and they weren't particularly distinct at a glance. Could you? Well, is there anything else about him that would let us identify him for sure? Now that you mention it, I've never seen it, but I believe Satoko-chan once said a long time ago that he had a tattoo of a tiger or something on his back. Well, I mean, at that point, if it's something he has maybe his friends have the same tattoo. Maybe they're part of the same group, like the Tiger Lovers Society or something. I don't know. A tattoo? That was really important. Not everyone had a tattoo. If I found a tiger tattoo on the back of the man's corpse, it'd be proof I'd killed the right one, or at least someone who also had a tattoo. At the moment, though, there was no other thing that would verify this. To go to Satoko's house and see for myself that the uncle would return home, despite having died. But that was far more terrifying than digging up the body and looking at its back. Without even looking at the tattoo, I knew for sure that the one I'd killed had been Satoko's uncle. I cracked his head open and I'd killed him. And yet, he'd gone back home. There wasn't any misunderstanding or even the shadow of a doubt in my mind about having killed him. And yet, it was impossible for him to exist. Kind of like how Keiichi Mabra had been at the festival despite it being impossible. That small commonality made me feel as though a faint, bizarre force was permeating this insane Himizawa. I wonder, what on earth could have happened, despite you not going to the festival and killing Satoko-shin's uncle? You were at the festival, and the uncle you killed is alive. None of this makes any sense. When I look at everything that way, it's almost like I'm just having a nightmare and there's no killer at all. But it's the truth. The sensation as I used my own hands and that bat to bash him again and again, it was no illusion or dream. Coach let out a slow sigh. Then after looking at the clock, got up. Let's go over this a little bit more seriously. If you'll excuse me, I'll go put on some tea. Clinic's about to close after all. I need to let the other employee... Also, can you write me a note? My friends are going crazy. They might be possessed by the devil. And they want a letter from you to prove that Satan shouldn't kill me, I guess? I don't... Everyone's like, that's not... like whatever. You guys get the point. Right now, we're just imagining Choose Goose from Adventure Time. That probably ruins any of the fucking drama. Like, the suspense of this game. It's like, what happens? Just imagine like a modified, like an AMV Hell thing, those comedy things that are put together. It's just you edit in Choose Goose with a fucking bat or something, or a knife. And it's just, Choose Goose! Choose Goose! Choose Goose! Choose Goose! Screaming his name as he beats someone to death. Just Choose Goose from Adventure Time. Just beating people to death. Just editing every fucking death in the game. To just be an animation of Choose Goose performing the attacking thing. I probably ruined Adventure Time for everyone. I haven't ruined Higurashi for everyone, but we'll get there. I have a lot of these games to play, and I'm enjoying them. The music, even the calm tracks like this, I really like. Heck, I like the calm tracks more. Like this music, take a listen to it. I like it. Leaving me alone. The clock was about to strike 6. I was at the festival and the uncle I'd killed was alive. Had I really committed murder yesterday? The only whisper of a fact that proved it had happened was the absence of the bat from Satoshi's locker. In any case, I was glad that Coach had taken my nonsense seriously. I just confessed to murder. Normally, that would frighten a person away. He is someone we can trust. Regardless of his other skeletons in the closet, that we know about just because I've seen the anime at some point in the past and vaguely remember pieces. Because, I've seen a lot of anime and I can't remember everything. But even that bad stuff that he's involved with, honestly, I still think he's someone who I can trust and who actually cares about me. But Coach didn't run. He cried with me. I was glad he did. Like so, my tension smoothly melted away, and I suddenly realized I really had to urinate. I thought to use the restroom while Coach had stepped out. There was one across the waiting room. As soon as I left the room, I saw Coach and 2 male doctors wearing white clothing, standing in the shadows of the hallway nearby. I didn't particularly intend to eavesdrop or anything, but I was quite surprised upon noticing how uneasy they seemed. I hid behind the wall and quietly listened in. It seemed like Coach was giving directions to the 2 doctors. Black tea. I'll make some. Mix in amobarbital or ravenol. Well, this is concerning. I just got done saying I trust you. I still have to pee, though. I don't know if I could pee and run at the same time. Cover the taste with milk and sugar. He may grow suspicious at the sudden onset of drowsiness. It's possible he may get agitated and become violent. We will handle that. How many male staff are still here? 1 mountain dog, including us 3. Right, the mountain dogs. They are the military force of the Nazis. Just because you're a Nazi doesn't mean you should stab me in the back, man. I trusted you. Damn it. What? What was all this? I think I was already agitated despite what Coach said. What was that? Was it just a casual conversation? And it was only sounding unbelievable to me? Coach said he would bring black tea and left the room. And then, in the shadows, he was telling his subordinates to put some kind of sleeping powder in the tea. Plus, they were getting extra help in case I thought the sudden sleepiness was suspicious and started getting violent? Hey, wait, Keiichi Mabura? Calm down, calm down. There's no way. Something this stupid could be happening. I mean, he was genuinely listening to my story and even cried with me. I thought he was the one person in Masao who would understand. This was... There are signs of fabrications or falsehoods, and his memories of yesterday, in particular, are completely confused. He can no longer tell the truth from falsehood. It's quite similar to multiple personality disorder. But as for how quickly this mental disorder emerged, it's just not normal. Maybe it's inborn, or perhaps there were signs of it before he moved in. I'd like to take a look at any records of him staying at a mental hospital before he moved here. In any case, I want him to take a quiet nap. The two doctors nodded deeply. I should probably contact Mabura-kun's parents too, though I can't think of what to tell them. Please find his home phone number for me. My eyes, still moist, began to shed tears once more. This was too cruel. You fucking traitor! I really thought he had actually understood and had believed what I told him. But now, from the other side of that wall, he was bluntly treating me like a crazy person. I believed you! I believed you! Choose Goose! I'd let my guard down because I thought you were the only ally I had left after that insane night. Was that a lie? All that about thinking me on Satoko's behalf. Were you just pretending in order to keep me placated? Ugh. My tears fell on the floor in frustration. I was an idiot. I was such an idiot for believing that bastard. I heard footsteps approaching from the doctors. A man in a dress shirt with no tie came running up. Dr. Iri, it's terrible. They found Takano-san. Takano-san? Wait, where? Well, apparently they discovered her burned corpse in the mountains in Gifu. She's dead? Takano-san. The men, all surprised, exchanged glances. Dead. Takano-san. Hey, wait. So then, does that mean when I cursed her, wishing for her death, that wish was granted? What do you mean, burned corpse? Was it an accident? According to the Gifu police statement, the possibility is extremely high that she was murdered. Ha 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 ha! As I cried, I laughed quietly. Serves you right! Serves you right! Even though she probably wasn't the real person at this point, she was also Doppelganger-san. Fuck you, Doppelganger-san! If I hadn't run into the woman, my murder would have been perfect. But she just had to come driving up to me and try to coerce me like that. I regretted not having killed her on the spot, but now she was dead anyway. My curse, my wish for her demise, it was fulfilled. Serves you right. Serves you right. Risa-san died in a Asano-san. Who is Risa? Takano's, who is Risa? Who is Reese? What other could be happening to him as a... Who is Risa-san? Don't tell me this. This was the year Yoshiro's curse. For this year? Like hell, I'll let the curse real, Coach said. Everyone present just nodded as Coach cursed at no one in particular. Cuckoo. Yes, maybe it wasn't oyashiro-san, but this was definitely a spell, a curse. I wish... Who is Risa-san? Who? Who is that person? Was it the other person we heard at the very start of this game? That was like a month ago. Or a week ago. Or 2 weeks ago. I'm just saying. It doesn't count. I wished for her to die, so she did. If this wasn't just a coincidence, and she died because I wished of it, then you'll die next, Coach. You betrayed me. You pretended to believe me, but deep down you thought I was a madman. You looked down on me with all that pity in your eyes. For now, get the black tea ready. I'll bring it inside. I don't think he'd let anyone besides me be alone with him. Shit, shit, shit. What do I do? What do I do, Keiichi Mabura? This time I heard the voice of a nurse. Dr. Iri, oh, there you are. You have a phone call. I'm a little busy at the moment, so please tell them I'll call back. Who is it from? A Mr. Oishi from the Okinomiya Police Department. Ah, sheesh, what bad timing. Alright, I'll answer it. This is my opportunity to fucking run. Coach left to go answer the phone. The other man headed towards the room with the teapot to make the black tea the coach had ordered them to. Fortunately, Coach having to take that phone call meant there would be extra time for me to act. I had to decide what to do now. Would I let him make me drink the sedative-infused tea, or be held down and thrown into a mental hospital? Nothing would come from starting a brawl here. They had more people anyway, and they were all bigger than me. Remember in the first game where all those people, surrounded my fucking house? The fucking men in black? Yeah. If it came to a fight, I didn't stand a chance in hell. If I couldn't win against them, then there was only one thing left to do: run. Adrenaline suddenly rushed into my brain, and my body started to move with keen instinct, like it had on that night. My surface temperature quickly cooled, and the transmission routes between my cells enlarged. Using 360-degree visual information, I searched for an escape route. I would open the windows behind me. Outside was a parking lot. There were no cars. A little beyond that was the bicycle I had taken to get here. I determined that this would be the quickest method of escape. I approached the window swiftly, but with little sound to raise as suspicious as could. With the speed and silence of a shadow like I had on that night I chased her uncle, I unlocked the window and opened it up. A cool evening breeze wafted in. I stuck my head out and looked over the parking lot again. Nobody in sight. No need to hesitate. I quietly crawled outside and closed the window behind me. I held my breath and listened carefully. Nobody seemed to have realized I had run. I looked around. Then I jumped onto my bicycle and zoomed away. The pedals clattered under the force. Had my bike always creaked like this? Did the pedals always whine every time I pushed down on them? My bike wasn't the only thing crying, though. My tears fell as the wind cut through them. They rode the breeze and scattered behind me. Ugh. I hate this. I'm not the crazy one. Hinamizawa is. How dare you treat me like a madman? Die. Just fucking die already. I believed you. I had gone to the hospital in order to escape Rena and Beyond's invitation. But the reality that was waiting for me had been too cruel. Who was insane, me or Hinamizawa? Or was the answer something else? I started having trouble breathing. I didn't have any clue what was happening anymore. The loud chirps of the Higurashi were irritating me. Were even the Hinamizawa Higurashi I knew so well calling into the wind? No, that wasn't quite it. They weren't calling. They were crying. The pained wailing of those lost in some kind of rhythm in another world, no longer able to return to their own sunlight. I didn't do all that to end up in a world like that. And actually, at about this time, I might have been having fun with everyone else. Satoko would have gotten her smile back after realizing her uncle would never come home, and she might have shown it to us at our first club meeting in a while. That was the kind of world I wished for. So, what was this? Why did I end up in such a strange, ghastly world? Someone I'd killed was living like normal, and I had enjoyed myself at the festival despite not being there. I don't want it. I don't want this strange world. When did it start to go so wrong? When? No matter how much I thought about it, I never understood. I rode swiftly and returned to my home. It had begun to rain during my journey back, and just like yesterday, I was now soaked. But I didn't care about something so trivial right now. The pain I felt in my heart, that coach, the one person I trusted, was acting so cruelly, was far worse. Did I have no allies in Hinamizawa anymore? With that naive thought, that I at least wanted my parents to side with me, I stepped up to the front door. Wait, Keiichi. It'll be dark soon. There's something you want to check, right? Yes. I wanted to dig up the man's corpse and get a look at his back. If there was a tiger tattoo there, I would know beyond a doubt that he was Satoko's uncle. That long night wouldn't end until I was certain. If this was insane world was all reparation, all a divine punishment, then I needed to make certain whether I had actually been successful enough to even deserve to pay that price. I went to the storage room again and got the shovel. It had been washed in the rain, but that paint was peeling, making it look unsightly. I never, ever wanted to touch this thing again. The sensation of it in my hands was totally different from the night before. There was a ruthless coldness about it. Yeah, it would be dark soon, so I'd need the lantern too. There would be a little bit of light from the streetlights, but it would get extremely dark. I thought I'd put the lantern here, but I suddenly noticed it wasn't anywhere to be found. Then it hit me like a bolt of lightning. Of course, On that night, I hadn't brought the lantern back with me. I had left it at the place I buried the body. If I didn't go get it soon, it would get very dark. And then not only would I be unable to find the spot I buried the corpse, but wouldn't even be able to find the lantern itself. If that happened, it was all over. I need to hurry. In order to find the shovel, fit the shovel in the basket from the bike, I need to twist it and disassemble it. But it looked like there was a dirt in the joints, and no matter how hard I pushed, it didn't want to come apart. After a strenuous effort, I realized I couldn't get it apart, so I decided to hold it in one hand and ride my bike with the other. So our ankle still twisted, with downpour soaking me through, and a shovel in one hand, and riding one-handed. It was as if I had returned to that night. No, return was the wrong word. It was more like that night had never ended. The pain of the raindrops striking me were no different from then. The thing that was different was Hinamizawa, the world, and nothing else. The rain clouds were already making it dark, and now it was about time for the sun to set. I could tell it would only get rapidly darker. The straight road leading to town. In the middle of it. That should be where I buried it. Yes. It was near that streetlight. On that night, too, the water from the downpour was splashing down from the streetlight's overhang like a waterfall. The pouring rain was exactly the same as it had been that night, and thus it brought my memories into focus. I left my bike in the brush and stepped into the forest, the ground already soaked with mud. Where had I buried him? Think. The darkness, the shadows, the water, the mud. Everything was the same. Think. I mean, technically the lantern should be there too. And then I spotted the lantern by a fallen moss-covered tree. That's right. I left it right there. If I left the lantern there, then I would have buried him over here. With the sensation of standing in the sludge, my feet remembered the spot better than my eyes did. I plunged my shovel into the ground. It's hard. It wasn't here? I just dug it up, so it should have been softer. I stick my shovel down a few spots to test what they feel like. One of them clearly felt deeper. I recalled where the lantern was, where the trees and the things in relation to each other, and knew that it had to be here. Under here slept that man's corpse. There would definitely be the tattoo of a tiger on his back. But if it wasn't here, then I had made a horrible mistake and killed someone completely unrelated instead. I would be more dazed to the fact that Satoko's uncle wasn't dead than I would be at regret having gotten someone else mixed up in this. If this insane world was punishment for the sin of committing murder, I wouldn't be able to accept it until I'd killed Satoko's uncle for good. And then, without any fear, I'd attack him again. And that time, I would kill him for sure. But what if the tattoo was there? That would mean I'd killed Satoko's uncle. But that would be terribly strange. If I'd killed him for sure, then who was the uncle at Satoko's house this very moment? Impossible. I didn't even know anymore what I was using the word impossible to refer to. I've used this word quite a few times today. If I had to make the words impossible fit just one thing, what would it be? That much was obvious to me. It would be impossible for this crazy world to be real. I shouted that, and then turned behind me. There was nobody there, of course. It hadn't been bothering me for a while. But those footsteps had followed me this entire day. Even just now, an extra foot of footsteps had splashed behind me. No one was actually there. No indications of anyone, even. But they were there. Who are you? You've been following me ever since I came to this world. That's right. Thinking back, the first time I heard those footsteps was after Takano-san and I had parted. Those footsteps were my welcome into this strange inside-out world. No one could be there. I'd get no response. Whoever it was, they just kept staring at me. Why are the fucking eyes of God drilling into my back? It wasn't ominous, just unpleasant as I make a Chaos Head Noah game. It's a game I played about a year ago. After staring at empty space for a bit, as I bathed in the rain, my illogical anger slipped away. My tension loosened, and a tired feeling reared its head. I tasted this feeling that night too. The sudden exhaustion I felt as the tension in my brain loosened. My vision quickly narrowed, and I felt like everything around me had suddenly gotten darker. I couldn't give in to this sensation. I would light what little explosives were left in my brain and force myself to keep going. I needed to dig that man up before my stamina ran out. I needed to see the tattoo on his back. I caught my suddenly ragged breath and calmed down. Then I stuck the shovel into the soft, muddy ground again. It felt exactly the same as that night. The sense of digging a hole in the beach with water coming into it with every wave. Why did it have to rain today? What day was today? Had I gone back to the night with Tanagashi, every strange thought that came to mind tormented me. Given my exhaustion, I didn't think I could manage to hold those thoughts back. Once the hole was deep, all illumination finally faded, blanketing my vision in jet black. It was probably just the moment the sun had fully set, too. That night I had feared the worst and gone without much light. My senses were so strained that I could see even in that darkness, but now I didn't have that kind of strength left. I drained everything I had last night, and now the darkness would be lethal. I decided to turn on the lantern. Putting it on the first setting would make it give off a faint light. Even with how little there was, it was enough, and people wouldn't be able to see it from far away in this rain. I grabbed the chilled lantern and turned the dial with a click, set it to the weakest light setting, and turned it on. An uncanny world of silhouettes appeared before me. A complex and strange shadowy world, created by the intricate entanglement of trees and branches. I had only turned on a light, and it was like that was all it took to make the world into something else. I let out a quick, tired breath and wiped the liquid, neither rain nor sweat from my brow. Then I raised the shovel into the air and slammed it into the mud. That moment, the silhouettes surrounding me ominously all moved at once. And inside my head, something packed in there, something coarse, but not hot or cold, was loudly rushing about. The silhouettes were all around me, looking down at me, and one of them, a silhouette bigger than the others, stepped forward. Good evening. Hello. The moon sure is beautiful tonight. The coarseness in my brain shot through my whole spine and left me at my waist. The strength in my body all left me through my hips, and I crouched down with a splash into the sea of mud I dug myself. Oishi! We did not get off on the right... Is that really how you address your elders? I would have said more, but I'm out of breath. You didn't give me a chance to say San. Also, isn't that your last name? You'll have a rough time of it once you become an adult. It wasn't only Oishi, but 5 or 6 of them in a row, men wearing raincoats. I had no inkling that this many people had gotten so close. It was like once I turned on the lantern, they just appeared there, sliding out of the shadows. They were definitely there. Please, don't mind us. Just think of us as trees. In the forest, perhaps. Well, where the fuck else would trees be? Don't mind them? Yes. Pay no attention to us. Please continue digging your hole. God damn it! Well, at this point I kind of have to. So, it's very late and raining very hard. And you're working pretty fervently. Can you guys at least help me? If you're already here and you're already going to bitch at me for the fucking hole, then you can at least help me. I am exhausted. Please help me dig the hole. Yes, you'll arrest me afterward, but please help me. Did one of you bring a proper fucking shovel? We won't get in your way. Please dig to your heart's content. Again, that's fine. There's no point in me stopping at this point. But please help, okay? Please help me dig the hole. I'm not going to say why I'm digging the hole, but please help me dig the hole. I mean, if there's a body here, yes, you're going to arrest me, but please help me dig the hole. If I'm going to go to jail for digging the hole, then at least help me. I'm tired. No, thank you, I said. When I tried to get up and turn around, 2 men blocked that route. They stood on either side of me and lifted me up with amazing force, then threw me into the sea. You didn't have to throw me. That seems excessive. It may be mud, but that still hurt. As I soaked in the mud bath I dug for myself, I looked up at the silhouettes looking down at me. Oishi squatted, picking up my shuttle and threw it at my feet for me. It bounced loudly off the mud and hit me in the face. Ow! Come. Please continue. You could help me dig the hole, or did none of you bring a shovel? Son of a bitch! Continue. I couldn't bear the oppressiveness of the silhouettes around me, and slowly I stuck the shovel into the mud again. I felt like I was digging my own grave. If I kept digging, it wouldn't matter whether there was a tattoo or not, because that man's corpse would appear eventually. It was all over. surrounded on all sides and nowhere to go. But I just couldn't figure it out. No matter how much I thought about it, why were they here? Was it Takano-san? There was only one person who could have made the connection between me and this place. Shit! I knew it. She deserved to die. Technically, she's dead. Stopping so soon. Ah. Bam. Oishi-san kicked me in the back, which took me by surprise, sending me flying. That is not going to help me dig faster. Okay? Maybe I'm tired. Okay. It is raining. It's weird to breathe at this posture. It's a lot of physical exertion. It's hard to breathe. At least if you're going to have me keep doing it, give me a Red Bull or something. Or some Advil. It'd make that a lot easier. Hurry up and dig, please. You really should consider the fact that some of us are standing out here in the rain. Fuck you. If you don't like the rain, then just go home. Grah. Oishi kicked some mud in my face. How am I going to dig the hole if I can't see? Work, please, instead of talking. Only people from the red light district do both at once. Isn't that right, boys? The men around him didn't react, not knowing quite whether they should laugh, but when Oishi glared at them, they started mumbling out pained chuckles. I don't even get the joke. I don't want to. Just who? Who was this guy? I knew the world had changed after that night, but if I went even further back, didn't it start when this guy showed up? That was when our peaceful days had been taken away from us. Ever since he showed up in Hinamizawa, things had been odd. Everyone stopped smiling and the world went crazy. Ha, ha, ha. The ground under my feet gradually got harder and heavier. At this point, even I started to think something was odd. I hadn't buried him this deep on that night, had I? My exhaustion peaked, and I sat down on the spot. How long do you want me to dig? Kids these days have no stamina. I am tired. Red Bull doesn't exist yet. It's 1983. Did you bring a fucking pot of coffee? Hey, you. I had Oishi, the man all pulled out their own sinister-looking shovel. How do you guys all have shovels? I'm glad you had a shovel, but if you had shovels this whole time, why weren't you helping me earlier? As I watched the days, one of them grabbed my collar and dragged me out of the hole and threw me. Again, you don't have to throw me. Could you please be more gentle with me? The rest of the men stepped into the hole I dug and started shoveling themselves. As I stared at them dumbfounded, Oishi sauntered under and squatted down to look at me directly. Keiichi Mabura-san, is this a hobby of yours? Digging holes on rainy nights? I didn't think it was, but honestly, this is the third night I've dug in many nights. So, no, and actually just as many, because the first one I dug the night before. So technically I've dug 3 nights, and everyone gets into Minecraft eventually. You know? Heck, I remember one point when I was younger, I didn't own a punching bag. So I took some foam, like those foam sleeping bags, and I went out into the woods, and I would use some bungee cord to wrap it around a very skinny tree, and use that as a punching bag. That, I wouldn't recommend it. I'm just saying I was punching trees before Minecraft existed. No, I can't. I'm not a boxer, and I don't have any skill at fighting. So, yeah. I suck. So, when I didn't respond, Oishi took one of the 10 buckets they were using to bail out the muddy water, scooped up some of it, and splashed the whole thing on my face. Yeah, that's not very nice, man. Cough, cough, cough. The rain's heavy today, too. No matter how wet I get, I still don't understand the appeal. Oishi-san smiled himself, then scooped up another bucket full of muddy water. I'll ask you again. Is digging holes on rainy nights your hobby? My honest response? I didn't think it was, but apparently it's become my hobby. Where I'm just like, then again, honestly, think back how I play Minecraft. I play Minecraft like a fucking psychopath. Like, what do? I dig quarries. I dig holes. And I build ladders at the side of the holes. And then once that hole goes down to bedrock, I move over a couple paces and then dig another hole. It's probably not the best way to play Minecraft. It's probably not very efficient. Who the hell would have a hobby like that? Splash. Osh handed me another bucket full of muddy water. The pebbles in it stung. Will there be something in that hole? I've always liked that story, about the old man who could make plants bloom and the puppy digging in his yard for gold. Okay, just to be fair, if there is gold in them there hole, it's mine. You guys don't get to keep it. Oh, you have guns. Okay, we can split it. As he spoke, he ran the bucket through the muddy water again, to splash it in my face again. What kind of treasure is buried down there? Can't you at least give me a hint? If you want to know, then dig it on your own time. You fucking pig. I wasn't saying that out loud, but Oshi mercilessly drenched me in muddy water. I didn't even say anything! Shit. If only you hadn't shown up, the world wouldn't have gone wrong. Ever since you showed up, things have been strange. Satoko got abused by Uncle. I ended up killing him, and the world went crazy. He was how it all began. Because of this culprit. He splashed another bucket of mud on my face. My insides were seething with anger. Die, you. You die too. If I have some strange power to kill someone by cursing them, like with Takano-san, then you're dead. And it won't be Oyashiro-sama's curse. It'll be mine. I curse you and I kill you. What a rebellious look you're wearing. Why don't we use this opportunity to teach you a thing or two in that regard? We really do live in peace these days. The only thing you're teaching me is that violence is the answer. The only thing you're teaching me is that everyone hates me and they'll just I can't think of the right word. Resort. They'll resort to violence and intimidation to hurt and push me down just because they want to feel some sort of superiority to me. And they'll take any sign of me speaking up or defending myself as evidence that, I'm evil. When really you're just an overly controlling asshole. When I was at your age, corporal punishment was the norm for everything. Oh, Oshi-san, did you guys find a thing? One of the digging men raincoats wiped some sweat off and called Oshi-san over. Oshi tossed the bucket away and then turned around with an evil grin on his face. Yes, what is it? Please look at this. Acceptance, or maybe resignation. I wanted to say to them, so you blockheads finally found it? Yeah, that's right. I'm the one who killed him. But you're the police, so it's your own job to figure out who he is, right? Come on. Prove to me that he's really Satoko's uncle. What on earth? We think it's an old drain pipe. Is it connected to anything, or did I literally carry a fucking drain pipe through the woods and bury it imagining that it's a person? It seems to be connected to the irrigation channel over there. Let's smash the thing. It's not being used, is it? The men all exchanged glances, then hesitantly broached another topic. Oh, Oshi-san, the ground down there is pretty hard. I don't think anything could be deeper than this. Did we get the location wrong? No, at first it definitely felt like the place had been dug up before, but after digging so far, the ground suddenly hardened. We think we've gone down further than the hole that was originally dug. So, what does that mean? There was a hole here, and someone filled it back up? Is that what you're trying to tell me? What? What were they talking about? Well, I'm at a loss. Aren't you, Mabra-san? Ocean grabbed my collar and dragged me to the huge hole they dug. The mud inside was like an ocean, and I couldn't see any drain pipe down there. Do you guys have flashlights? One of the men stirred it with a shovel, letting me hear it clang against something hard. There was no doubt I'd buried him right there. But I hadn't buried him this deep. I didn't dig enough to unearth the entire drain pipe. So, then, this man, his corpse, where was it? Proof that I'd been successful on the night, was gone. Gone. Then what on earth was I actually crazy after all and just possessed by the delusion that I'd killed someone? No, they definitely, that we did dig the hole. We just didn't dig this deep. We just didn't bury anything. We just imagined that. That couldn't be. It was the unmistakable truth. It couldn't have been an hallucination, but now the most important evidence that it hadn't been an illusion, was gone. I killed him. I buried him. I had an absolute unwavering confidence in that fact. Then, did I fail to kill him? After I left here, had he started breathing again, crawled out, and gone back to Satoko's house? Was that it? Did somebody else dig him up and then refill the hole in order to cover for me? I had come here to see whether he had a tattoo or not, and yet the truth I unearthed was far more than that. What was I? I killed him. I buried him. There was no doubt. But for some reason he lived and crawled back out, and that was impossible too. I'm so tired of hearing the word impossible over and over. I get it. Dead people don't like to play by the rules here in Hinamizawa. Then I'll kill you as many times as I need to. I'll keep killing you until you never show your face to Sato again. Oshi and the others were muttering to each other. Eventually their conversation ended, and Oshi came towards me. What did he want to say? What did he want to do? I stiffened, tensing up, and then Oshi just ignored me like I wasn't even there and passed right by me. The other men too, they ignored me and shuffled away. Eventually there was no longer a sign that anyone was around, and I returned to my quiet world of silhouettes. The only one left there was me. Only the sound of the pouring rain filled up the silence. Turned up nothing. Technically, we haven't screwed anything up at this point. We haven't killed anyone. We at least have proof that not only did we not kill Satoko's uncle, but we didn't kill anyone. We literally just dug a hole in the woods and talked to ourselves. So. And that being said, though, we did tell the doctor about thinking that we did. But that being said, one, we have confirmation that we didn't. And two, we also have confirmation that there is something wrong with my ability to remember things correctly. So, my best option at this point, one, obviously my parents can't adopt Sachiko if I'm going crazy. But we at least, through information that we don't know about, we know that at least the player here knows that the child welfare people are already on their move, especially since the dude's abuse is picked up. But even before that, they were going to take her out as soon as possible, which means it's going to happen very soon, which means technically I can do nothing, and Sachiko will be saved by the authorities, and the guy will go to prison. As for me, it's still good that I told Dr. Erie because, well, obviously there's something wrong with me, and I require assistance. But I also don't quite trust him, and I don't feel happy about how he lied to me. So my best option at this point would be to go home, find my parents, tell them that I spoke to Dr. Erie recently about an illness that I'm dealing with, and that I want my parents to stay at my side at all times. That I don't want them to leave me alone, and that I don't trust the doctors in regards to how they're going to treat me. So, I'm going to tell them, hey, I want you to stay at my side no matter what. And I'm going to tell them, hey, I went to the doctor telling them that I thought I did something. However, I've also gone and confirmed that I didn't do the thing that I thought I did, which means I imagined it. So let me put it as this. I thought that I had killed somebody, but I've gone to check where the body was, and there's no sign that it was there. Just a sign that I dug a hole, and then I've dug the hole again deeper than it was before, and there was nobody there. And the person I thought I killed is still alive. So I imagined it. So, just want to tell you that I thought I'd killed somebody, but turns out I didn't. And my memory is pretty faulty. I went to the doctor, I overheard them saying they wanted to sedate me, and I felt very angry and betrayed at that. So, obviously I need to see the doctor, but I don't trust them. So I want you guys to stay at my side, because I trust you. Even when I'm unconscious, I want one of you always there. At which point then we'd go see the doctors, my parents would be there, I'd have scans, and my parents would at least make sure that the doctors don't do anything harmful to me. Inquiry request, record of malice. Okonomiya Police Station Command Center transmission recording. This is Okonomiya Security Police. We read you loud and clear. Hello, we'd like to look up a license plate for us. Alright, please give us just a moment to look it up. Thank you. Number match. Owner. Address, Hinamizawa Village. Vehicle make and model. Theft reports, none. Special mentions, nothing of note. Okay, we found the license plate from earlier. Oshi, do you read? Oshi, please respond. Am I getting a bad signal? Anyone in Oshi's car, please respond. Nothing, eh? Oshi-san wanted a police plate check. Whose car was it? Someone from the village. A completely average car. Who was it? If Oshi-san was asking, then it can't be anyone good, right? The special mentions column is completely blank. No indication it's related to the S group either. And no demerits on it. Maybe it passed him on the road and he got mad. That guy isn't the type to forget a grudge. Okay. He said it smelled. He said the food smelled. He said it smelled because I smelled. He said I smelled because I don't take baths. He said to take a bath 3 times a day because I was a smelly person. He said I have to stay in the bath for a long time every time. He must be possessed by something too. This is the same thing that the man who died said. Why does he know what that man said before? That much is obvious. The same thing that possessed that man is now possessing him. Can't a sudden earthquake make a big hole in front of the house? If it did, he would definitely go and look into it. And then I would just have to push him in. I won't give in until I get that chance. I won't give in, I won't cry. I won't give in, I won't cry. Someone is apologizing again. The body wasn't there. The police didn't arrest me because of that. But I didn't know whether to feel happy about it. Just like Satoko had said, I'd failed to kill her uncle. Well, our best option at this point is go talk to our parents, unless, I decide that, what, we made a goal. Just because I imagined I did it just means try again. But of course, circumstances are different. The body wasn't there, so I was forced to conclude as much, no matter what strange natural disaster, coincidence, or miracle it might have implied. In order to free Satoko, I became a demon, and this abnormal world was my reward. Yes, metaphorically, I had fallen into the demon world. But if that price had been exchanged for the life of Satoko's uncle, then that would have been fine. Since Satoko's uncle was still alive, still shackling her to him, I needed to become a demon once again. One more time. No, as many times as it took. I would kill that man over and over again until Satoko was liberated.